Welcome, humans and gentle humans, to San Francisco's third ever Cliterary Salon! It says pause for wild applause on my script. Does that feel wild? Can we make a wild? Yeah! Thank you. My shades are just slipping down my face as I do this. And so without any further ado, let me introduce the very first one. Lauren Parker. Humans and gentle humans, please take your seats and fasten your seatbelts. Before Lauren's piece, I'd like to give you some brief safety instructions about our next reader. 1. You don't own Lauren. 2. She's not just one of your many toys. 3. You don't own her. 4. Don't tell her she can't go with other boys or other persons of any gender. 5. Federal regulations prohibit tampering with or harshing Lauren's buzz in any way. Humans and gentle humans, as your flight attendant, I don't want to scare you, but the last guy who tried it was found 9 months later on a deserted island with only a VCR and 6 tapes of classic women's wrestling matches to keep him sane, so tread lightly. And now that you're prepared, though nothing could ever truly prepare you, I give you Lauren Parker!
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Everybody enjoying the heat? Yeah, developing swamp tits up here. And that's about the high point, because I'm going to bring this all the way down. Can everybody hear me? Meg, do you want to yell at me again?
No, you're good.
All right. So this piece is called Cry Wolf. The old woman saw them along the tree line, tails sweeping through the brush, the coals of their eyes clouded by the spring fog. She lived alone, outside of town. It made sense she would see them first. When she was eaten, no one made a fuss. They would howl at night, creeping past windows, rubbing up against doors. What's going to be done about this? The baker's wife asked. About what? Her husband loaded his truck with loaves, her voice background noise, musing that he often skipped. The wolves, they're a problem. That old woman already disappeared. Oh, she was old. She probably wandered off and got lost. She was eaten. We can't prove that. You're overreacting. Now help me finish loading up this truck. Business wasn't good. Another baker had come to town and prices had to be slashed. The wallpaper was falling down, and they hadn't the money to plant flowers in the garden this year. The baker's wife didn't argue. Things were hard enough. But the women of town talked amongst themselves, the way women do. They started staying in at night. They set a curfew for visits so everyone would get home before sunset. They got used to it. I get to bed so early now, the midwife said. She urged her friends to do the same. The men rather appreciated this. We want you to feel safe. So if you feel that you should stay in, then do, the mayor said to the crowd. The speech was given after sundown. The women listened to it by pressing their ears to the windows. The baker's wife went missing 6 months after the old woman, 3 weeks after the young girl who slept in the doorways of the church disappeared. Giving up the night had not been enough. The wolves had started coming out in the daytime. The men saw them now, but didn't think there were that many of them. It's normal to have this sort of problem. They live here, the same as us, the mayor said. The midwife's right arm was scarred from a mauling. It made it hard to leave her house. She asked her clients to come to her. Some did. Some stayed home and took their chances. You know, you have to face your fear. You can't let it eat you, the pastor's wife said. She'd been very busy, helping. Perhaps you smelled like blood, and they were confused. If anything, they protect the town from raiders. It really can't be that big a problem. Some of those even look like wolf bites, the doctor said. Was it maybe an ordinary dog, and you were too ashamed to admit it? The police chief got a wolf. He roamed through the town, the monster at his heels. The midwife forgot where the man ended and the wolf began. Remember when the wolves were something that we made up? The bar owner said. She limped from a bite that hadn't healed correctly. You can't blame all wolves for this, a patron insisted. The world is dangerous. What sort of coddled life are you proposing? His speech was slurred, but others in the bar mumbled in agreement. The bar owner was attacked in the town square the next night by the policeman's wolf. A terrible accident, the mayor insisted. We're putting him on administrative duty, and we'll give the incident a thorough investigation. Signs were posted on trees, gates, and doors suggesting that women travel in groups and avoid making themselves easy targets for bad wolves. The men sat on their porches, watching the gaggles of women hurry home and chuckled. Women are such nervous creatures, the pastor observed. His wife nodded and topped off his scotch. Poor things clearly don't believe their men will protect them. Frankly, I'm offended. Nothing has happened to my wife, and if she carried on like this, I'd think she didn't trust me. The pastor's wife hadn't left her house at night in months. She pulled her sleeve down over the curved breaks in the skin, 2 incisors and 4 teeth between. The honest women aren't disappearing. Why are these women out and about if they're not to misbehave or rebel against nature? Don't they understand wolves are dangerous? They keep us in check so we don't run wild. The pastor had had several scotches now, and the mayor clinked his glass. No one asked the baker what he thought. He was loading the bread truck by himself now. The mayor and the pastor each got their own wolves as well, letting them into the public buildings and the church. Not all wolves were bad. The pastor railed against the baiting of the wolf. It's useless to resist wolves, you see. They're serving their true purpose. Don't make life harder for them. Stay in at night. Wear clothes that cover your ankles, and don't cook too much meat. Take care of yourself, and this noble creature will take care of you. He said, spittle flying and landing on the wood of the podium. The best protection against wolves is a wolf of your own. The congregation was mostly men now. They would go home and tell their wives what they needed to know. The pastor's wife was eating on a Monday. After the sermon, the Sunday lunch, and cleaning the house. The mopped floor dried without even her footprints on it. She faded into the walls. How could this happen? The men were scandalized. There weren't any women left to be scandalized. Where did this wellspring of violence come from? The pastor couldn't remember. He wept to the mayor. The mayor called for the wolves to be rounded up and shot. But no one could find them. They were still there, of course. They just couldn't see them. They're good dogs licking their chops. All they saw when they looked through town was each other. Thank you.